Hello, folks. It's me, the Trashmand here, and welcome to the spooky hour. Today we are going to be reading the most scary of stories possible. Let's start out with a pretty strong one, yeah? Let's start it out. Today we're starting with the freaking Army 3928, who says, "It was just past midnight when I heard the faintest rustling outside my window. I froze, my heart pounding as I tried to convince myself that it was just the wind. But then I heard it again, slow, deliberate footsteps crunching on the gravel near the back door. I grabbed my phone, but before I could call the police, the sound of a hand gently testing the handle of my back door sent a chill down my spine. Someone was outside, and they knew exactly where I was. I held my breath, praying they wouldn't hear my heartbeat thumping in the silence. Then, just as quickly as it started, the footsteps retreated, leaving only the echo of the presence in the dark. That's spooky as hell, man. Let me tell y'all something. That is true horror, man. Not any of that phony baloney monster crap. Not any of that biz. You know what's real horror? People. Jesus Christ. Did y'all see that? Someone was behind me. Anyway, now I'm not going to scare myself, but yeah, the real horror of life is people. That's one of my biggest phobias, by the way, is people breaking into my house. That has always been something huge of mine. But yeah, that was a great story. Honestly, I'm really hoping, man, that was a fake one because that would make me. Now I'm really hoping that wasn't. If it's a real story, I'm glad you're safe, man. Really. But yeah, shout out to him for sending it. Let's get on to the next one, shall we? I was coming home I was coming home from 6 p.m. It was already pretty dark out. All of a sudden, the entire sky lit up this bright green color, and I heard this insanely loud zap sound like something out of a sci-fi movie. It was so intense I actually ducked to the ground and ran inside. My mom was cooking dinner and was like, "What the heck?" I was like, "What the heck? Did you see that?" But she hadn't noticed anything. I went back outside. No power outages, no signs of anything at all. So I don't know what the heck that was. Ah, the aliens. The aliens. Let me tell you something. I hope they're real because I think that'd be fun. I don't know what that could have been, man. Maybe it was like an aurora borealis, or maybe you really saw some alien cheeks. So if the saying hell come to Earth and you get some lady ones, don't make sure to save some cheeks for the rest of us. But pretty spooky story. I'd be freaked out. I'd be probably if I was a caveman seeing that shit. I'd probably be like, aliens, aliens, that type of thing. So anyway, on to our next story by Dave Frazo. My friends and me and my two friends were trick or treating, just messing around, trading candy and trick or treating, which you already said, by the way. After a bit, when we were already walking around, we saw some dude dressed as a clown. He was just standing there under a streetlight. No kids around him, no kids around him, no parents, staring and holding a balloon. We waved him at first, but he just stood there. So we kept walking, and he started walking after us. And then after a bit, he started after us, and we had to run too. And we had ran too. And then we made it to one of our friends' house and stayed there the whole night. In the morning, he left the balloon in my friend's mailbox. I guess bro was just messing with us, but still scary. Let me tell you something, dude. The killer clown epidemic back in 2016 was the truest horror that my kid mind had at the time. And let me tell you something, dude, that stuff had aura, man. Killer clowns are no joke, man. Those guys were out to get you back in 2016. Let me tell you something, Dave Frazo, you're not alone in that, brother. There was so many clown incidents, man. It's crazy, dude. It is crazy. Yeah, we have actually a pretty short one from my goat. Oh, from my goat. Vanilla Gorilla. My brother and I and a friend of ours were in a ski hotel, and when, as a joke, I played the FNAF Freddy jump scare theme, music box variant. Then the power went out. Literally a few seconds later. Ah! Har 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 Har. Dude, yo, bro, you were about to get you were about to my boy Vanilla Girl, you were about to get your cheeks clapped by Freddy, my man. You were about to get your cheeks clapped. You were about to get clapped, my brother. Let me tell you something, dude. I swear to you, man. Five Nights at Freddy's is gonna be on my bingos card. I think Five Nights at Freddy's is gonna becoming a real thing, like in probably like maybe a few months to a year or so, bro. There's gonna be 5 kids going missing there, man. Anyway, on to our next story by Amy Bottle Scrumpy. Some kid at a trunk or treat dressed as SpongeBob and was stealing people candy. What a monster! That's too scary, man. Yo, bro, you gotta dial that shit back. I said scary, not criminally horrifying, dude. What a deviant. SpongeBob stealing candy? SpongeBob would never do that. He's a kind soul. He's a saint. Man, I can't with this. We're moving on to the next story. Thank you, mi patro scrante. Now, man in the distance. I was house sitting for a friend on the Oregon coast. It was late September. The weather, unpredictable. The breach is empty. The house was beautiful, perched on a bluff with a winding staircase that led down to a private stretch of a beach. On my second night there, just after sunset, I went for a walk. The beach was nearly dark, lit only by a sliver of the moon. The waves were loud, constant. I liked the solitude, felt completely alone, until I noticed footsteps. Fresh ones, heading toward the water. Then they turned around. They weren't mine. I had just arrived. No other houses were nearby, and I hadn't seen anyone on the beach all day. I kept walking, trying to ignore the unease, but then I saw something worse. A figure. Far down the beach, near the cliff edge. Not moving, just standing facing the water. I stopped. They didn't turn. They didn't walk. Just stood there, perfectly still, watching the sea. I walked a bit more, trying to be casual, but I kept glancing over my shoulder. The figure was still there, but now it looked a little bit closer. I turned around and went back up the stairs, locked the door behind me, turned off the lights, and peeked out the window. The beach was empty. I told myself it was nothing, just someone else walking like me, but the next morning, when I went down to the beach, again, I saw something carved in the sand near the base of the stairs. One word written carefully, deeply. Stay. I didn't walk the beach again after that. I wouldn't either, my man. I would not either. I'm already terrified of the ocean, but bro, if I had to see some creepo taunting my postman, hell no, man, dude. Also, I gotta know, why would you ever even have it in your mind that it'd be your footsteps? They weren't my footsteps. I know that for sure. What the hell? Anyway, here we go. On to the next by Talkin' Pumpkin 9104. One chilly October night, John Nick carved a pumpkin he bought from a strange old man in a roadside stall. It looked normal enough until he lit the candle inside. That's when it spoke. That's better, it whispered, its mouth moving just slightly. Thinking he was just imagining things, John laughed it off, but the next night, the pumpkin's voice was louder. You took my head. Now I want yours. He smashed and threw it in the trash. The next morning, he was back on his porch, and it was perfectly carved, smiling wider. You know, I'll say it. That was a good classic horror story. I'll give that grade A. That's a classic horror story. You know, it's not trying to overly catch your attention, but it was just nice and simple. And I appreciate that a lot. You know, I appreciate that a lot. So on to the next, which I have to turn the page here. Let's get ready. Also, John Nick, nice shout out, by the way. Onions 5097. A daughter was in her room upstairs, doing her homework, when suddenly she heard her mother call to come down for dinner. She jumped onto her feet and began making her way towards the stairs. Before she even took a step, hands grabbed her and pulled her into the laundry room beside the staircase. She panicked before realizing it was her mother, her real mother, eyes watery and bloodshot. Don't go down there, honey. I heard it too. That's some pretty creepy implications, man. I tell you what, boy. I tell you what. Anyway, that one was a good. I think I've heard something similar to that. So on to the next story by Spy Theory. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. Spear Theory 11. I went to a small concert downtown. It was in a warehouse space with a low stage and cheap lights. I got there early and stood near the front. About 2 songs in, I seen some man in the back, not watching the band. Guy was watching me. I told myself I was imagining it, but every time I looked over, he was just staring. Then he started moving closer to the crowd. Slowly, I could feel it even when not looking. I decided to leave my spot and head towards the bathroom. When I turned, he was right behind me, maybe a few people away. I pushed to the side of the crowd and went down the hall. Near the merch table, I looked back. He was standing near the exit, still staring. I hid in the bathroom for a few minutes. When I came out, he was gone. I didn't go back in. I left early. At home, I watched a video I'd posted from the show. In the clip, the crowd is still behind me. He's still there, looking at the camera. Yikes, bro. You might have a stalker on your hands, bro. You might need to call, like, get a bodyguard or something. Because, like, let me tell you, bro. That dude was about to come clap cheeks, bro. Let me tell you something. That dude was about to clap them cheeks. Anyway, we got a double whammy coming up. First from Penny. When Trashman said I can no longer call him daddy. Womp, 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 womp. Better luck next time, pal. That was such a scary story. Anyway, on to BB3 Dillion V219. It was around 1 a.m., and I was in the middle of a late night gaming sesh with a few friends. We've been playing for a few hours, joking around like usual. I had my headset on, mic hot, lights off. Just how I always played. I told the squad I was stepping away to grab another drink and left the room. Headset still sitting on my desk. A minute later, my phone buzzed with a text from Kyle. Who's in your room? Confused, I asked what he meant. He said he could hear footsteps, a chair creaking like someone sat down, and breathing close to the mic. I laughed it off at first, thinking maybe my cat jumped on or something, but then Kyle said something that stopped me cold. Yo, you just said, yo, I'm back. Let's run it. But it sounded like a recording. The exact same tone and words from earlier. I stood frozen in the hallway, staring into the dark room. I hadn't said anything yet. Slowly, I peeked the corner. My chair was facing the screen, not how I left it. I backed up, heart pounding. That's when I heard it through the headset, a voice whispering, just loud enough to make out. He didn't mute it. We got a Skinwalker story? Bro, a Skinwalker's trying to get some game right now? Let me say something. If my boys need a game in and a Skinwalker is trying to take my game, I'll say hell yeah. Because guess what? Hear me out though. A Skinwalker takes your exact thoughts, your exact body shape. Hear me out. Skinwalker, you're away. It's efficient gaming, right? You just get a Skinwalker. It's actually genius. But also that's on the side note. It's a pretty creepy story, man. I'll be honest with you. Hope you're safe. Josh. Okay, no one ever believes me when I tell this. I was home alone one time because my family went to see a movie, but I didn't really care to see it, so I stayed home. Anyway, I was on the toilet on my phone, and I know I shut and locked the door. After like a minute, the door opens and I look up, no one is there. I called up my family's name and no one said nothing. When I was done, I went out to the window if they were home as well. They were not. After I locked myself in my room, after that, I locked myself in my room till they came back. And I told them, but no one believed me. Yikes, man. Bro, that toilet demon, bro, that might be Diddy. That might be Diddy, bro. Diddy was out by that time, bro. Diddy was probably trying to get you, man. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, bro. Diddy was probably out to get you, bro. That's mad creepy, dude. That's as well. Like I said, those things are my biggest fears. On to Gmod Scene Man 985. You arrive at your house and reach for the light switch, only to find another hand is already there. Okay, can the hand jack me off, please? Jork me, please? I mean, if he's there, he might as well be helpful, you know? Okay, I'll go on to the next one. I'm sorry. Go to the second. One day in like March, my dad and I went to go buy a shelf from someone on the marketplace. It was a nighttime. When we got to their house, we saw a fire in the backyard. We walked up to the door and knocked. No one came. Then we heard like kids in the background, but we didn't see nothing back there when went to look. My dad knocked on the door like for like 5 minutes. No one came still. Then we heard someone turn on that one tulip through Rainbow's song. And we got out of there and it was really creepy. Through the tulips, I mean. I don't know that song, nor do I want to know that song, but if someone starts playing stuff, they were honestly they were probably trolling you or something like that. I'll be completely fair with you. I don't really understand what happened in that one other than they didn't answer the door and then they started playing creepy music in their campfire outside. So, I don't know. Is not Boomer 508. Every time Kevin opened the fridge, the light turned on. Every time he closed it, the light went off. Or did it? One night, he taped his phone inside to record what happens when the door closes. The next morning, he checked the footage. It showed the light fridge still on. And behind the milk, a tiny man eating his string cheese. Kevin moved out. He ate his string cheese? That was pretty scary, man. I'll tell you what. All right, we've got one more, and potentially the scariest thing of all. Oh, oh God, a job, just job application. I need to get out of here.